Hello again. I just finished chapter 1 of Harry Potter. If you actually happen to watch the first video, you'll notice it's been a couple days. I do read a lot more quickly than that, but I haven't really had time to actually get down to it. Things that I noticed reading chapter 1. The biggest thing is that this writing style is not at all what I expected. I expected something a little more formal, and it's not a bad thing at all. But I don't know. I expected very common fantasy fiction prose, and this is not at all what I expected. It's a lot more informal, and it's a lot more informal than I expected. I would say this is, I don't know, 5th or 6th grade reading level. That'd be right. Anybody who's reading this, it's hard for me to tell. Word choice, for the most part, is pretty simple, but I noticed some words that were bigger words. That's just an observation. That's not yay or nay one way or the other. It's a children's book. I would say that it looks like it's the word choice is really good for the chosen audience, because I know Harry Potter came out year by year. As Harry got older, so did the audience that was reading this book, which I think is really cool. That, to me, is one of the coolest things about Harry Potter, was that for people who are my age, they could grow up with this character. And I've been told that the vocabulary and things shift as the books go on as well. Other stuff I noticed. I didn't realize that McGonagall, is it McGonagall? McGonagall, I'm sure someone will correct me. Let me look at it. McGonagall. Mick? Yeah, Mick McGonagall. I want to add too many. That's the problem. McGonagall. I didn't realize that she could turn into a cat. I mean, I guess I've seen that clip from the films. I just thought that cracked me up, because I know what she looks like in the movies, and so I'm picturing her turning into a cat when she's like this kind of hardcore lady, and it's funny to me. That's really funny. It's funny to me that she sat on the Dursleys' doorstep, or the wall outside of their house, for hours, and he says to her, he says, "Hello, McGonagall," and she says, "How did you know it was me?" And he says, "I've never seen a cat sit so stiff." And I just think that's really funny. That's a nice bit of characterization without being really obvious. It tells you a lot about that character. Nice point, you know. I am certified to teach English, so we're going to play this like an English teacher, right? I already know about McGonagall. McGonagall. I don't even want to know. I'm just going to say it different every time. Anyway, I already know about McGonagall that she is an older lady. She's probably well respected because she is interacting with Dumbledore, which, I mean, having seen little bits and pieces of the movies, I'm cheating a little bit, but just from the book, she's well respected because she's on really good speaking terms with Dumbledore. They are clearly familiar with each other. They're sitting comfortably next to each other. He offers her candy. You know, clearly they are friends, though McGonagall seems like the type of person that she doesn't like friendly interact with anyone. Other stuff. Her interaction with, well, that's another way you can tell that she is probably at least friendly with Dumbledore, is her interaction with Dumbledore, and I thought it was a little weird because I didn't expect it. When she says, "Oh, don't say Voldemort's name out loud," but I guess you're the only person who wasn't really afraid of Dumbledore. I thought it almost seemed out of character for what I know of this character, but I don't know that that's really fair. Because she just, it almost seemed like, well, that Rowling uses the word admiringly, and I don't know, she seems so severe. But it's kind of cool because, given the way she looks, it's interesting that she's not school marmish, which I've heard a lot of people say that they really like her character, and this is probably why, is that she's just really blunt and she sounds kind of awesome because she's not afraid to say what she thinks, and even though she doesn't want to find out about the Potters, she presses on. I like that she's not a coward. She's clearly, I don't know, she's cool. Also, other stuff, I thought that this whole first chapter was pretty freaking hilarious because we go on and on about how lame the Dursleys are, and they're just this complete train wreck, which I thought was really funny. They're super boring. The husband makes screwdrivers for a living or something. Yeah, something like that. Drill bits or something. Something completely mundane. The most mundane. And, I mean, just drills. He makes drills. Man. And then to know, because his wife has to be a wizard or whatever. I mean, well, not a wizard, but she would have been magic born, whatever their term is for it, I don't care. I mean, she would have to have been magic born because Harry's not considered a muggle or whatever. So, to know that and then be so mad about the dudes in cloaks and all this running about is really funny to me. That he's like, it's hilarious to me that this dude is like, he knows magic exists, and they know it exists, but they're just mad about it. Like, oh man, how dare you not conform to society? I just think that's really funny. And that their kid is so clearly awful that he is already spoiled and he's a baby, essentially. That's amazing. I mean, I guess he's a toddler because he can ask for sweets, so he must be, he's probably 1 or 2 is my guess. So he's a little bit older than Harry Potter, which is going to be awesome, because he's going to be the favored baby. Total butt munch, you can tell. What else? I feel like there was something else that I noticed that I thought would be interesting to talk about. The thing about the cat with a map. Cats with a Maps would be a pretty good band name. Cat with a Map. That's a joke I play with myself. I also think it's kind of weird that Mrs. Dursley gets outright mad at even the mention of her sister. Because it sounds like her sister's only crime against Mrs. Dursley is to be magical. What an interesting metaphor! Oh, people who are different. People hate them just for being different. Imagine that. I think that's a good lesson, though, and I mean, if we have to say it a million times, say it a million times, because that is never going to go away. Children, especially, are really bad to make fun of people who are different. I work with children on a daily basis, and I see this a lot, where they'll say stuff, and if you were, not a child, you would think, oh my god, you wouldn't say it because it's so mean, but kids do it. They don't think about it. They'll say stuff about your hair or your clothes, or why are your clothes dirty, or is that what you brought for lunch? They're just mean to each other, and they don't even realize they're being mean. And I think it's kind of cool that this is clearly going to have a big undercurrent of, people who are different aren't necessarily bad, and that you shouldn't judge people based on their appearance or who they are, who their parents are, and that kind of thing. Because I know that's one of the biggest themes in this book. And she started out already talking about it. And I think that's really cool. That she has stated her theme pretty much already in the beginning. But that's what I think about chapter 1. See you.